Kids, it's been over 4 years since I made a video. I meant to make one, and then 4 years passed. Can you imagine? I used to make videos all the time, and I stopped making them because I just couldn't. Every time I tried, it was just like, ugh, it's too much. It was like this burden on my shoulders. So if I'm not enjoying it, I'm not doing it. But I'm back because there's so much to talk about. Anyway, when we left last time, meanwhile, 4 years ago, um, I had met my parents, my bio parents, and my bio siblings with 23andMe, and that was an experience. I got to meet almost all of my family, my bio family, but all the important ones showed up. So that's all that matters. Um, Both of my parents died. My bio parents died in 2024, just last year. Um, my mom about 13 months ago, and my dad a little bit less than a year. So it was nice to have them while I did. I made the most out of it with my father. My mother was a nightmare. For those of you adopted people looking for your bio families, be careful what you ask for. You just might well get it. I do, however, want to encourage parents that are thinking of adopting to make sure that they get the family history of their adopted child's DNA, the family medical history. It's hugely important, and you get incomplete medical care in the United States unless you have a family history. Doctors will not talk to you. They will not perform tests on you. They will hand you a pill and tell you to shut up and tell you to go away. And it nearly killed me. My family history is why I'm here today, because I found out my family history is riddled with extreme heart disease in the males. I've now had seven heart surgeries. Yeah. So, I mean, literally, it was life-saving information. So, for those of you thinking about adopting, make sure you get that information for your adopted children so they don't have to go looking for their biological family. Because it can be really wonderful, like meeting my dad was like the best thing ever, or it can be really traumatizing, like meeting my mom, who just couldn't wait to leave scars. So, it's not always footloose and fancy free with the bio family. So, if you want to be a good adoptive parent, be supportive and get your kids the information they need for life, because you could save their life with that information. And they don't have to go through the rolling of the dice with the bio family, because it could be nice and it could be a nightmare, or it could be both. But why risk it when if you already have the information you need for a happy life? Just saying. My personal experience. Um, think about it. Anyhow, so I lost my bio parents last year. I have a relationship, an ongoing relationship with my bio aunt on my father's side, and I have a casual relationship with my youngest sister on Facebook. We don't kind of directly communicate a lot, but we kind of like each other's stuff and encourage, which is better than nothing. And I have a relationship with my bio brother. We talk several times a year. Um, it's interesting. I feel um, deep empathy for him, having grown up with my bio mom. Um, from at least my experience with her, I couldn't. I don't think I. I don't think my crazy would have dealt with her crazy. And on her side of the family, crazy is king. And on my dad's side of the family, um, heart DNA is the thing with the males. It'll get you every time. So that's that. Recently, um, I've been going through health challenges. This year alone, 2025, I've had two hip surgeries, three crowns, and a heart surgery, all in 2025 so far. And we're just getting started, baby, because, I'm getting older. So, yeah, there's that. Um, I'm feeling okay now. I just went through a complete break, a mental break. Um, I was put on a medicine that I didn't respond well to, and based on the current situation in the world and the fact that I was on a medication that was giving me serotonin syndrome, I was having fake heart attacks and I was having severe, not just your garden variety um, hallucinations. I was having severe hallucinations. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Um, and I was also just constantly um, just riddled with anxiety and despair at the same time. Like giving too much of a shit and giving not a shit at all together at the same time. It's very confusing for the brain. It's very confusing for the body. It's very confusing for everyone, including the one afflicted like me. Um, I know you guys like to hear about my hallucinations because they're fun. I have been hallucinating my ass off since I was at least 9, and I'm 59. So 50 years. 50 years of serving mankind and 50 years of hallucinating your ass off. So anyway, these new hallucinations were just, it started with the garden variety. Oh my goodness, I see something floating in the air, or something moved real quick and vanished, or um, then it moved into my housemate's doppelganger coming down the hallway in a fully solid figure, walking down the hallway and saying, "I'm home," when he not only was not home, but he never does that. He always screams from the other side of the house when he gets home. So this personal greeting by the doppelganger started happening a couple of times a day, and that was weird. Um, then the piece de resistance was I was in the swimming pool, and I'm like the water's here, right? So then I go under the water. The water's like up here. I go under the water and I'm holding my breath, and suddenly my mouth inside fills with warm, really warm food, like on the verge of hot, like warm, like on the warm hot on that line. In my mouth, very warm food, kind of gave the consistency of like a firm custard, like a warm custard, in my mouth underwater. The water was kind of cool, so I had the cool water all over here, and then my mouth is just warm, super warm. Even the skin outside of my mouth is super warm. And I'm having a hard time now thinking, how am I going to breathe with all this stuff in my mouth? and water in my nose, and oh my God, what am I going to do? So I popped up out of the water and swallowed what I didn't even know, like something that didn't exist. And I could feel it like go down my throat. So here I am swallowing some unknown substance that doesn't exist, and it's going down my throat, and I'm having like a whole dining experience in the pool. Yeah. So that got me on the red alert patient list for my psychiatrist. My therapist was like, "Oh, we need to type this little. I'm just typing this little note over to the to the physician's assistant that normally monitors your medicine because I don't think that we're having a problem here. And you're having a very super, super, super rare type of hallucination, which I've never seen in medical practice. And I've been doing this a long time. So, yeah. Um, so I became the red alert emergency patient. And then the next day, I had to have a Zoom meeting with my actual psychiatrist. And he took me off the medicine and told me, all those things you're really totally stressed about, yeah, they're totally valid and it's real and it's actually happening. And there's no pill for that. You're just going to have to somehow learn to cope. So that's where we're at with that. And if you don't know what's happening in the United States, then you've been underwater. And that's what my psychiatrist also told me. For all of you with mental illness, if you're feeling stressed about having your Medicaid cut off and possibly your food stamps cut off and your Medicaid cut off and your Medicare cut back and your possibly your housing disrupted, et cetera, et cetera. If you're all worried about that, according to my shrink, you should be because it's happening. But you need to get over it because there's no pill for it. So we just have to cope with that, even though it's going to kill us. Oh, and then my suggestion is since we're going to be taken to the fields to work for our Medicaid, I guess our new $35 copays, like who's got money for that on Medicaid? I don't. I see 11 specialists and a primary. I have over 50 doctor's appointments a year. 50. And I'm supposed to pay $35 each for that? Where am I going to get that money? On a fixed income. I'm not. And I know you're not either. So if you're stressed about that, you should be. But there's nothing that's going to fix it. So go out and protest or, vote a different way or do something. And my shrink also suggested that you stay out of watching news. As he said, bad news will find you always. And he said he stopped with the news like 5 years ago. And he says, every bad news story has always found me, even though I don't engage in any of that. So I'm doing that. I'm retraining Facebook because Facebook got started showing me snuff films and stuff. I mean, it got really abusive with the violence. And all kinds of violence and really super graphic stuff, very traumatizing. And it was pissing me off and it was traumatizing me because I just don't do stuff like that. So, not interested in snuff films, like none of that. I don't want to see people fighting. I don't like any of that. So, I'm retraining Facebook. And if I can't retrain Facebook, I'll just shut it off. But it's my only outside reach for my friends. I mean, I have some of my friends that watch my YouTube videos, but I haven't made a YouTube video in 4 years. So I don't know if they're still even around on YouTube. And it doesn't seem as easy as it used to be to make a YouTube video and just load it up and send it out. It seems, at least from just trying to get to this one, uh, much more difficult. So there's that. Um, anyway, that's it for now. I'm back. We're gonna like start talking about things going on in the world, different stories. I'm gonna tell a lot of stories, I think. We're gonna just kind of have like a hangout session. I know there's a lot of people with mental illness that are struggling under this constant fire hose of chaos that need to feel seen or need some advice or just want to know that they're not totally isolated and they're not the only one going through all this, because you're not. It's breaking people. The current political situation in the United States is breaking people, and people are getting Baker acted and locked up. And I feel sad for them because mental hospitals have stopped becoming facilities of healing, and they're just gruesome holding tanks with uncomfortable amounts of noise and risks of violence and sexual assault. They're just not the healing institutions they used to be. Death by a million cuts. They used to be somewhere where it was just like this overwhelming amount of caring and teaching and skills being thrown at you, and for you to just put your whole body and mind and heart and everything into learning how to be a functional mentally ill person. And I know that's hard concept for people to understand, but you can function without scaring people. You don't have to be scary to be mental ill. And a lot of people just have this stigma in their mind about what a mentally ill person is. Now, I don't know if I meet your stigma, but I'm nuts. I've been nuts. I've been nuts for like 42 years, something like that. Yeah. So I've got 45 years maybe. I've got coping skills. I've been learning coping skills since I was 17 years old. I've been in the system since I was 17 years old. I've been to so many therapists and so many psychiatrists and so many psychologists and so many testing facilities and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I've seen the whole system inside and out, and it's a shadow of what it used to be, a shadow. Anyway, I'm going to cut it off here. It's about 18 minutes. That's getting kind of long. We'll talk more later. Have a good one.